Hello, hello. So I actually wanted to do another video today for the one that I did earlier. Um, and this would be on compromised immune system. So the one I did earlier was about forgetfulness and being exposed to mold. But I don't have, mold is not in any of my books. But I looked it up further, and obviously black mold affects people who have a compromised immune system, particularly when it has to do, or a pre-existing lung condition. So if you're someone that has a pre-existing lung condition or your immune system's compromised, honestly, to me, it's no different than COVID or anything else. When we have that compromised immune system, we are more susceptible to that stuff. That's like for myself. I've worked for almost 3.5 years now diligently on my immune system too. And it doesn't mean I don't get sick. I do, but I look at certain ways of getting sick as from a doctor I have followed. It's an upgrade to your immune system. But if you have an immune system that's compromised, let me read what that is in the Healing Questions Guide. So, immune system problems. What will it take to finally release any deep grief and despair? What psychological benefits have I placed on the need to run on empty all the time? What will it take to equalize the giving and receiving in my life? What will it take to remember my own power and authority so I can make my life better? What part of me will need to change in order to get for things to get better? What or whose energy do I carry that is not mine to carry? What will it take to let go? What nutrition does my body need that is not presently being received? Whose burdens do I carry to prove that I love them? Interesting. Whose burdens do I carry to prove that I love them? What will it take to help them deal with their life rather than attempt to take over their responsibility to create their own life through challenge and mistakes? I had compromised immune system. I could check mark all of those. So, and again, that when we have that compromised immune system, we are more susceptible to the things that go around. So it behooves us in that way to work to improve our immune system. And I work with someone in functional medicine, and I personally would highly recommend that. I don't typically do the traditional stuff. I know there's a good melding of it that I have done, but for the most part, I just think functional medicine, what I love about it is it deals with the individual. So anyway, that said, let's tap. Even though my immune system is compromised, I think I've tried too hard my whole life. I choose to honor my truth right now. Even though my immune system's been compromised, therefore I've been more susceptible to mold and to other things. I deeply and profoundly accept myself now. Even though I want to boost my immune system. And what if doing that can change everything for me? Go to the eyebrow. My immune system's been compromised. And what if that's the thing for me to work on? What if I can take the stance that food is medicine? And if I'm eating too many foods, or not getting enough sleep, or there are a lot of lifestyle issues that have compromised my immune system, what if those are things I can work on? And then just see what happens. I can absolutely work on my emotions. But what if there is information I can get that can actually really help me heal my immune system over time? And that may require patience and some diligence. But what if one step at a time, I can get there? And what if I can ask for that inner wisdom, that inner guidance to come forth, to help me know the steps to take, to know what can make a difference for me and me as an individual? And what if that guidance helps me to heal my immune system? And what if those seizures and the forgetfulness and the mold issues start to change? Because I have learned to follow the guidance that's helping me to heal from the inside out. And take a breath. Hey Jude, nice to see you here. And I can see somebody else is here. Just a little bit for me, like I said, I've worked for the last 3.5 years on my immune system and beefing it up. I mean, I could tell you the stories. It started with this little spot on my hip. Interesting, right after we moved into this house, which was it'll be 5 years this October. And then it just spread. Like my body loves hives to like get my attention. And I wanted to take sandpaper to my skin. And so I worked with a functional medical person and I got some tests done. And this is the thing that I would say. I didn't get there overnight. And when I look back on all the habits that I had growing up, I had some bad habits, even though I would say as a whole, I always tried to be healthy. At one time I was like, Marti, organic processed food from Trader Joe's is not healthy to eat all the time. There's nothing wrong with having that stuff, but I just started doing things because I wasn't taking time. Probably the biggest difference in my life now is I cook. And I'm not even someone that really particularly enjoys cooking, but I cook and I cook stuff from scratch and I do as much scratch stuff as I can. And I've just changed that a lot. And I have a friend, she said, I love what Americans call food and it's actually chemicals. And it's so true. I mean, we export food to Europe and they have a completely different standard than we do here in the United States. They won't take stuff with GMOs and things like that. So, I mean, I would encourage you with health issues to look at diet as well and what you're capable of in that, and not pressurized and, oh God, I've got to do this. I was absolutely vigilant, but I was so uncomfortable. And the last thing I want to say about it is it has taken time. And actually, truly recently, I've noticed for a while now, I haven't had any like little bouts of itching that would show up that have been there for like 3.5 years, but it just progressively got better. And the first year that I was working with this person, I literally got to a point where I was like, this isn't helping. It's not working. It's not changing anything. And I had discouragement, but I trusted the process. Hi, Louisa. I trusted what was going on. And all of a sudden, this day came when I felt like, oh, I've turned a corner. And I'm talking like this, like a microcosm, not like, the clouds parted, the angels started to sing, there was rays of light beaming out of my body. No, it was a microcosm. but I spent a year and probably even a year and a half doing everything that I was told to do by this functional medical person. And I was like, it's freaking not, this isn't helping. It's not working, but it really was. And the way she explained it to me was, we have to feed. I was taking so much nutraceuticals, like, and homeopathics, like so much. I literally, it was insane. I took a picture of it once. If I can find it, I'll post it. And I literally was like, I'm taking too much. She's like, no, here's what we're doing. We're feeding the bad stuff. And then we feed that, and then it allows that the good stuff to get fed as we do that. And then it was slowly killing that off. And here's just so you know, I didn't know all this, and thank God she didn't tell me everything. So I got these tests done. So I guess we all have the gene for, say, dementia, Alzheimer's. Is it turned, or the marker, is it turned on or off? And I didn't know this till about a year ago. She goes, oh, you turned that off. Like that was on, but you turned it off. I was one stage before Crohn's disease. And that's gone. Completely reversed it. That's why I absolutely believe in this path. But I do know, and I say this from experience, we have to be patient with it. We didn't get this way overnight. Our immune system didn't get out of whack overnight. And I would tell you, I haven't had the tests redone, and I won't for a while, but because I had them done and I had them done again to see the progress. And I mean, there's always something we can look at. I'm far from like perfect in that way at all, but I see the changes, and then and it's finding moderation with things and finding new ways as you get through this. So I wanted to post this today too, in addition to the other one that I did, and I've showered. The other one, I was like, I just had a massage. I was like, screw it, I'm just doing it. But because I think we all can have that way to work on your immune system, and it never hurts to find things. And the last thing I want to say with my monologue and then whatever prologue is, there's so much information out there, and there's so much contradicting information. And that's why I personally like functional medicine, because it takes you into account as an individual, and everyone is different, and what works for someone might not work for someone else. What someone can sustain eating, someone else can't. And that's why I think anything like that you can do. And if you get too much information, which I've done, I went into information overload. You're like, wait, but they say you can have this and they say you can't. It's too much. So I would highly recommend that you get with someone that you trust, that you've heard really good things about, and work to get that immune system back into shape, because I know it's always a work in progress, always. And Louisa, love you. Happy to see you here. Jude, great to see you here. And I hope you found this helpful, and then we'll see you on the next video tomorrow. Bye for now.